was stunned, and like everybody else, we turned the radio off and put it back up and on again to make sure that we were awake and it wasn't a nightmare. It was an incredible outpouring of national grief.
Well, that was her karma, unquestionably.
I think it's partly that in a society that's lost spiritual values, we've got to find focuses for our ideals and our aspirations, and that sometimes we project them onto living people who are just fallible human beings, as poor Diana was. I can't help but feel that it's sometimes a distorted and false emotion.
In some ways, people trying to tap into something that was beyond materialism, I think. People trying to tap in to goodness and caring and love, and using Diana as a kind of icon for it.
I felt that at the time, somebody who had contributed more to society had been neglected, who died around the same time, which was Mother Teresa.
Mundane sentiment, and you know, whatever their particular reasons were, Diana was a popular figure. She was a much loved person. Why that's the case, I don't really know. She did some charity work, fair enough.
It's interesting that it took place in the context actually outside of religion, of organised religion. It's like a form of spirituality without religion.
She triggered a kind of cultural unconscious reaction too, which I think goes very deep, and that aspect of course has sinister sides to it. So I think you probably got two sides of the coin, depending on the kind of person who was reacting, whether it was pulling a genuine human feeling of fellow feeling and kinship of suffering, or whether it was somebody who needs an idol figure and even to wallow in grief over the destruction of that idol figure.
She happened to be a very pretty girl, and if she hadn't been a pretty girl, everything else being the same, I'm sure the nation wouldn't have had the same reaction.
I was one of those who was totally taken aback by the reaction, I confess it. I've thought about it from time to time ever since, and I'm no wiser. I do not know what all that was about. I really don't.
It is also intentionally advertised, campaigned by supporter of Diana, obviously, to project her as the perfect, ideal, smart-looking, beautiful-looking person. So therefore, there's kind of exploitation here, mass exploitation, I would say, trying to project something so that people admire and worship. After all, she's just another ordinary person like other, but we don't see them in the newspaper.
I think because she was a national figure and she was revered as the future queen of Great Britain, that's why her spiritual link with the British people was very strong. So everybody was feeling they've lost part of their future. I think that was the reason behind all that mourning.